November is officially behind us, and it's time to wrap up the month by reviewing how we did with our budget. Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Rose. For those of you who are new, I am on a debt-free journey. So both myself and my husband, we are paid semi-monthly, and we budget based on the zero-based budgeting method. All right, so you are looking at my November budget worksheet. Let me just adjust this right here because this is incorrect. Through 11/29/24. So you are looking at my semi-monthly paycheck budget worksheet. And for the entire month, I start my budgeting period on October 31st, and it carries us through two paychecks ending on November 29th, 2024. All right. So we are going to be looking at the overall totals in the monthly total section here and to see how we did for the entire month. Income was $6,954.42. This $13.38 is the rollover. It's showing as minus because I don't want to double count it because it's already included in the $6,954.42. All right, so that's the total budgeted amount, and the total actual income was $6,954.42. All right, so let us get into how we spent that money for the month. So, under housing and general expense category, I budgeted $4,116.82 to cover all the line items within this category. There are certain line items that I budgeted but was not paid, so we're just going to update those and speak about them. All right. So for rent, I normally pay the rent on the split pay method, but for the last paycheck in November, I did not budget to have. So that's going to be zero here. I'm just filling in that portion. My water bill was budgeted for 165.67. That was not paid, so I'm putting a zero there as well. Security bill was not budgeted, so zero is going to be added there. Life insurance was budgeted at 130. That was not paid, so I'm adding a zero there. All right. So from the $4,116.82, there are several overspent categories. So let us just browse through the line items quickly. All right, so a half of the rent was budgeted in the beginning of the cycle. That's the October 30th budget. So that from the October 30th, 31st paycheck budget would have completed the payment for November. All right, so that was budgeted and that was accounted for. So we can check that off. Water was budgeted total for $313.62, but I only paid $147.95. This $165.67 was budgeted to cover the water bill that is going to be due on December 5th. So I'm still within time to make that payment. Security was budgeted and paid at $72.32. Car insurance was budgeted at $477.32. We actually paid $452.20. So we are under budget by $25.12. Cell phone was budgeted at $284.92, and that's the exact amount that was paid. Internet was budgeted at $70.25. That's the exact amount was paid. Gas was budgeted at $139.22. I actually paid $149.32. And that's because for the October payment that was late, so there was a late fee on that gas bill as well as my electricity bill. So for electric, 249 was budgeted. I actually paid 255.47. So the late fee on the gas was $10 and the late fee on the electricity was $6.47. Life insurance, like I said, was budgeted but not paid. There was no activity for pets, no activity for lawn, and for fuel we budgeted $220, but I actually spent $249.26 for the entire month of November. That means we are over budget by $29.26. Groceries was budgeted for $4.50 and I spent $514.32. That put us over the budgeted amount by $64.32. We had no activities for medical, but for prescription, we budgeted 170.71 and we spent 134.88. So we are under budget in this category, in this line item, by $35.83. All right, so the total budgeted amount for housing and general expense category was $4,116.82. We spent $3,870.25. So we are under the budgeted amount by $246.57. All right, so for savings and sinking funds, no activity was done for the month of November, so we're going to be skipping that. For personal and discretionary, we budgeted $70 for barber. That was done. Nothing was budgeted for clothing, dining out. For gifts, I did not budget for gifts, but we spent $706.45, and that was explained in my last budget update. That's the money that we used to finish the Jamaica project that we have, which is the packing of the barrels. There was no activity for books, and that concludes personal and discretionary. We only budgeted $70 and we spent $776.45, pushing us over the budget by this $706.45 right here. All right, so the next category is going to be my debt category. For car payment number 1, we budgeted $488.38 and that was paid. For car payment number 2, we budgeted $230.94. That was paid. For credit cards, we budgeted $518.08. That's the exact amount that was paid. For personal loan, we budgeted $620.37. That's the exact amount that was paid, as well as personal loan number 2. We budgeted $383.16. That's the exact amount that was paid. For extra debt payment, I budgeted $521.06. That was not paid because this money was used to offset this $700 here. All right. So for debts, we budgeted $2,761.99 and I spent $2,240.93. All right, so let me just back up a bit for the debt category. So all our debt payments are on the split pay method. So for car number 1, I didn't make the October 31st payment, which would have been $244 and change, but I made it on the 15th of November. So that completed the payment for November. For car payment number 2, I changed the due date to the 30th of the month. So the payment for November 15th would have been cancelled out to meet the payment for the payment for 31st would have been cancelled out, and then the first payment would have been November 15th, which was why for the October 31st paycheck there's a zero scheduled here, and then for the 15th of November paycheck there's this half scheduled here. All right, so the credit cards, those are all paid on the due date, and they're all scheduled and auto pay. Now for personal loans, the last payment was on October 31st, which was $620.37 and $383.16 respectively for loan number 1 and loan number 2. I used the deferment for the personal loans, so we wouldn't need to make a payment for November. Hence the reason there is no scheduled payment for November 15th paycheck, which would have been the first half of the payment to complete November's payment. So the payments are split in two. Half is paid on the 15th, and then the half is paid on the last day of the month, and that would complete the payment for the month. All right. All right. So that sums up how my debt payment on the split pay method. So again, I budgeted $2,761.99, but we spent $2,240.93 using the extra debt payment amount of $521.06 to complete this $706.45 spending that we did here, along with some of the monies that was scheduled in housing and general expense to cover this project that I have here. All right, so for my miscellaneous category, and the only line item that was budgeted in this category is subscription. I budgeted $18.99 for a subscription. We spent $17.97 on subscription. So we are under budget by $1.02 for subscription. All right. So that's it for how we spent both paychecks, $6,954.42. 55.65% of it was spent on in housing and general expense. 11.16 was spent in personal and discretionary. 32.22% was spent in the debt category, and 0.26% was spent in the miscellaneous category. Okay, so while November didn't go as planned, it taught me about the power of staying aware of my financial position, because I had to rely on deferring some debt obligations to offset some things that I needed to offset. And some people might say, why you're giving away $700 if you are still struggling? And that's a valid question. But when you do have other family members who need help, I personally don't believe waiting until you are rich to stretch your hand back and help somebody. So that's my explanation for that. We still have to help each other. And that's just a fact. All right. So I had to rely on deferring some of my debt obligations to take care of what I needed to take care of. So while this was necessary, it is definitely going to result in higher interest for the future. Because in deferring the car payment and deferring the personal loan, the interest is still accruing. But we never know what tomorrow brings. We might just get lucky and happen upon some money and we're able to just close it out. So we never know what tomorrow brings. However, being aware of where I stood allowed me to assess my situation. It also allowed me to pivot quickly by utilizing the options that are available to me. And what are the options that are available to me? The deferment that comes with the debts that I have. So this experience reinforced a critical point. Knowing your options is key. So whenever your finances seems to hit a bottleneck, having a clear understanding of the goals and the tools and the strategies that are at your disposal enable you to pivot without your debt spiraling out of control, avoiding late fees, as well as avoiding negative credit reporting. And it's a reminder that sometimes even the most perfect plan can go awry. All right, and there you have it. November is closed, and I'm now in the December budgeting period. So whether you crushed your goals for November or whether you needed to make some adjustments, it's now in the past. We need to now plan for the future because it's all about the process. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving me a thumbs up. If you have watched this video and you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing to my channel. Follow me on my debt-free journey. Follow me for more budgeting tips, and let's grow together. Please don't forget to hit the notification bell when you subscribe to the channel so you will be notified when I upload another video. So until the next video, here's to better money management. Here's to a more mindful December. Bye.